and welcome friends to Interesting Facts. Today let me take you through the life journey of Chinese Premier Xi Jinping, but in brief. Xi Jinping has recently been in the news all over the world for the wrong reasons. He is being held responsible for the spread of coronavirus. Countries located in South and East China Sea and even India have launched a fierce broadside against him for his expansionist approach. He is also being criticized for the genocide being carried out on the Muslim population in Xinjiang province and is at war with India on Galwan Valley. He is also being targeted for the Chinese suppression in Tibet, the proverbial roof of the world. Since I'm of the opinion that the nation is known by its premier and how he or she handles the country. For example, just see the US, where it was and where it has come to under Donald Trump. See Iraq under Saddam Hussein. Study India under the governance of Nehru, Indira, Narasimha Rao, Vajpayee, Manmohan Singh and now Narendra Modi. Every leader was different, some soft and some belligerent. Countries keep changing with their leaders and so has China. Leaders undergo their metal making, their circumstances and experiences make or break them. Compare Narendra Modi with Rahul Gandhi. Narendra Modi has had a struggling and tough childhood, whereas Rahul Gandhi has had a cozy childhood, being a dynast. So the fire in them are very different. Xi Jinping too has had a tough childhood. He too is a dynast, but of a different kind, that communist breed, and that is why one sees the cloak and dagger approach in him. Xi Jinping was born in Beijing on 15th June 1953. He happens to be the second son of Xi Zongzhan and his wife He Jin. Xi is the family name. After the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949 by Mao Zedong, Xi's father held a series of posts including party propaganda chief, vice premier and vice chairperson of the National People's Congress. Xi Zonghan was a Chinese communist revolutionary and a subsequent political official in the People's Republic of China. He is considered to be among the first generation of Chinese leadership. The contributions he made to the Chinese Communist Revolution and the development of the People's Republic, from the founding of communist guerrilla bases in northwestern China in 1930s to initiation of economic liberalization in southern China in the 1980s, are numerous and broad. He was known for political moderation and for the setbacks he endured in his career. He was imprisoned and purged, removed several times. Xi had two elder sisters, Jiao Jiao, born in 1949, and An, born in 1952. Xi's father was from Fuping County in Shaanxi province, and Xi could further trace his patrilineal descent from Xinjiang in Dengzhou County in Henan, China. Xi Jinping went to Beijing Middle School in the 1960s. There he developed a close friendship with Liu Ha, who later became China's vice premier and a close advisor to Xi after he became China's paramount leader. In 1963, when Xi Jinping was aged 10, his father was purged, removed from the party and sent to work in a factory in Luoyang, Henan. In May 1966, the Cultural Revolution cut short Xi's secondary education when all secondary classes were halted for students to criticize and fight their teachers. Student militants ransacked Xi's family home. Is when one of Xi's sisters, Xi Jinping, committed suicide from the pressure. Later, Xi's mother was forced to publicly denounce his father as he was paraded before a crowd as an enemy of the revolution. His father was later thrown into the prison in 1968 when Xi was just 15. Without the protection of his father, Xi was sent to work in Liang Jihai village, Wenani town, Yanchuan County, Yan'an, Shaanxi in 1969 in Mao Zedong's Down to the Countryside movement. He worked as the party secretary of Liang Jihai, where he lived in a cave house. After a few months, unable to stand rural life, he ran away to Beijing, where he was arrested during a crackdown on deserters from the countryside and sent to a work camp to dig ditches. After being rejected 7 times, Xi joined the Communist Youth League of China in 1971 by befriending a local official. He reunited with his father in 1972 because of a family reunion ordered by Premier Premier Zhou Enlai. From 1973 onwards, he applied to join the Communist Party of China 10 times and was finally accepted on his 10th attempt in 1974. From 1975 to 1979, Xi studied chemical engineering at Beijing's Tsinghua University as a worker, peasant, soldier student, but the engineering majors there spent about 15% of their time studying Marxism, Leninism, and Mao Zedong's thoughts, and 5% of their time was spent doing farm work and learning from the People's Liberation Army. Xi Jinping has served as the General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, CPC, and Chairman of the Central Military Commission, CMC, since 2012 and President of People's Republic of China, PRC, since 2013. Xi has been the paramount leader, the most prominent political leader in China since 2012, and he has officially received the title of Leadership Corps from the CPC in 2016. 4 leaders so far have been given this designation. They are Mao Zedong, Deng Xiaoping, Jiang Zemin, and Xi Jinping. Xi has also been a member of the 17th, 18th, 19th CPC Politburo Standing Committee since 2007. Xi rose through the ranks politically in China's coastal provinces. Xi was governor of Fujian from 1999 to 2002 before becoming governor and party secretary of neighboring Xinjiang from 2002 to 2007. Following the dismissal of party secretary at Shanghai, Cheng Liangziu, Xi was transferred to replace him for a brief period in 2007. He subsequently joined the Politburo Standing Committee and Central Secretariat in October 2007. In 2008, he was designated as Hu Jintao's, a Chinese politician who was the paramount leader of China from 2002 to 2012. So, Xi was the presumed successor of Hu Jintao and as a paramount leader. Later, Xi was appointed Vice President of the People's Republic of China and Vice Chairman of the Central Military Commission. Xi is the first General Secretary born after the establishment of People's Republic of China. Since assuming power, Xi has introduced far-ranging measures to enforce party discipline and to impose internal unity. His anti-corruption campaign has led to the downfall of prominent incumbent and retired Communist Party officials, including members of the Politburo Standing Committee. He has also enacted or promoted a more assertive foreign policy, particularly with regard to China-Japan relations, China's claims in the South China Sea, and its advocacy for free trade and globalization. He has sought to expand China's African and Eurasian influence through the Belt and Road Initiative. As the central figure of the fifth generation of leadership of the People's Republic, Xi has significantly centralized institutional power by taking on a wide range of leadership positions, including chairing the newly formed National Security Commission as well as new steering committees on economic and social reforms, military restructuring and modernization, and the internet. These political thoughts have been written into the party and state constitutions, and a cult of personality has been developed around him. He has been labeled a dictator by some political observers, citing an increase of censorship and mass surveillance, deterioration in human rights, and the removal of term limits for the presidency under his tenure. So friends, now you will be in a better position to understand my hypothesis of how childhood and early stages make or break and develop leaders of national importance, rather world importance. And this is why I feel this Chinese Premier Xi Jinping is so very vindictive in his nature. Goodbye and see you soon.